Bogieville is a 2024 vampire independent film that premiered at Cannes Film Festival, or Cannes, or Cannes, or it's pronounced a bunch of different ways, but the biggest film festival in the world, which is funny because the type of film it is, I wasn't expecting it to premiere at a festival like that, but then it got a wider release in 2025, June, I'm pretty sure, and it is now streaming. And Bogieville gets his name from something that is explained in the film, so I'm not going to say what that is due to spoiler reasons. But being it's a funny name too, I'll just I'll just leave it at that. And yeah, it's a typical vampire film. Basically, what we have going on is we have this couple. The guy recently gets let go from his job because times are tough, and he can't be afford like the boss can't afford to pay him. And I think the wife is a waitress, if I'm not mistaken, but she's now just the only person making money. So they're looking for a different job. Times are tough at the moment, and it's really hard to find work in the first place. So they try to find work somewhere else in this town called Bogieville, which is really small. And they run into this guy who will let them basically stay and feed them and give them a roof over their head, and while they go look for work somewhere. And when they get there, they weird things start to happen, and he's a very strange person when it comes to explaining things. And they're always asking questions like, what's going on, why are you so secretive? He's like, stay out of the basement, that whole trope. And he never really explains why or gives any answers whatsoever. But basically, it's a town of vampires essentially, and they stay hidden during the day. They come out at night, yada yada yada. And some cool things happen in this film. The vampires look fantastic. This film does if you like certain films, you're gonna like this one. Like if you like 30 Days of Night, the vampires feel like a lot like that. If you like, they're kind of zombie like too though. So if you like, Train to Busan, you're gonna like this film. If you like a film called Late Phases, which is a werewolf film, not a vampire film, there is a character in this film that really reminds me of the main character, the main older gentleman in Late Phases. So if you're familiar with that film, you'll like this one as well. I got a lot of Abigail vibes in this film, and if you're a vampire fan, essentially, Mistake Land, I got some vibes of that. If you like any of those vampire films, I don't see a reason why you're not gonna like this film. It's low budget, independent, very well done. The vampires, like I said, they look phenomenal. They act phenomenal. They're top notch. They really focused on making vicious, mean vampires. And the plot is what's a little bit more convoluted and gets a little bit confusing. And the direction of the film is strange. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but some films are just directed and edited in certain ways that make the film and make the story more convoluted than it needs to be. Whether it's, telling things in different orders, like not telling a linear story, which can sometimes work too, but other times not work at all. And this film just feels that way. It feels like there's moments that'll cut, and one scene that'll lead from another scene that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and stuff like that happens. And the story, I won't say it takes a bunch of different directions, because it basically focuses on what it's focusing on. It's not like Echo Valley, which I was talking about. Totally different film, by the way. But it's fun. It's a very fun film. It's a very horrific surprise vampire film that again came out of nowhere, in my opinion. Even though it was released at some festivals back in 2024, Fright Fest I think was another one that released this one before it went streaming, and it's a great, entertaining, fun, and vicious vampire film if you liked any of the films that I mentioned previously, you're going to have a good time with this one for sure. I have to say something that will probably be considered a spoiler, so I'm going to say cut the video now if you don't want to hear anything else. It's a small one, it's nothing really major, it doesn't, impact the story or anything like that, but I will consider this a spoiler, so I'm going to say cut the video if you don't want to hear it right now. But going on to what I was about to say. So the vampires, when the couple gets to the place, they're told they're not allowed to leave because the vampires have their scent now. So if they leave, they'll be tracked down and killed by the vampires. Which just made me question, why do they have to leave to be killed? Like, if they stay, the vampires will leave them alone, but if they leave, the vampires will chase them down and kill them. I didn't really understand that. If I missed something, I don't know, but I did not see that explained really whatsoever. The guy is like, yeah, you're stuck here because if you leave, they have your scent. They can track you and they can kill you. And I'm like, well, they can kill you there, so why wouldn't they do that? So that was a little bit confusing, and certain things like that happen throughout the film that kind of raise some questions that like logically you're just like, why this, why that. It's more of a film that you go for the ride, you have fun with the violence and the gore and stuff like that. The story, I think, takes a backhand side. It's a very simple one too. It's not a grand, meaningful, impactful, deep story or anything like that. It's meant to be a fun, independent vampire flick, and that way it works. So it's not perfect or anything like that, but neither is, other ones I mentioned. So it's fun though, and I do recommend it, and I think if you like these kind of films, you're gonna have a great time with this one. So look up Bogieville and go check it out, and find it streaming somewhere, and support indie cinema. And subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.